how can innovative cleaning robots, okay, look here, and changing hygiene and productivity with truly plastic waste, free cleaning, solving parts of your challenges? That's what I'm going to talk about the next minutes, hoping to give you some tools to overcome those challenges. By the way, my name is Kwestro. I'm from Gausium Robotics and also ambassador for Solvatide. And you will understand this combination at the end of this presentation. So yes, let's define the challenge. I saw in the announcement of this whole Congress, growing pressure to do more with less. Of course, we're talking about pounds here. And yes, tight budgets, that's not a surprise, but also lack of staff, of course. It's very hard to get staff nowadays. And prevent HIAs and MRSA, of course, it's also a problem. How can we keep safe? And strict zero waste targets. Well, and there we can help you a lot, actually. So let's see, how can cleaning robots help to prevent HIAs and fill in the shortage of the staff and clean zero waste? How can we do that? It looks a little bit funny here, but okay, we made it a little bit more practical actually. Because our global working population, as we all know, is declining. Not the world population, of course, that's still growing. But the people that work, they are getting less and less. I always say, think about 50 Shades of Grey. And, oh, sorry, this is the wrong picture. Sorry, excuse me. This is the right picture. So this is the right picture. Oh, this is the 50 Shades of Grey I want to talk to you about, because it's a happy problem we have with all of us. And I'm already starting to grey myself as well. So in a few years, I hope it's taking a longer time, then we will be one of those. And that's good, because that means we are still healthy, we are enjoying life. And you know, the circle of life is getting longer. But in reality, we also have a problem, of course. Because if you look at the statistics, if you see it like here, and I put some red arrows in it to make it more clear. It used to be a big onion that you see at the back, but now it's more like a kind of a kebab. And what you see here is the red arrows that go to the side. This is the declining working population between 50 years old and 65 years old, which is on average the working population. So you can see it's rapidly going that way. But on the top, you can see it's going to the left and to the right. By the way, these are the boys, these are the girls. So you can see we have a real problem here. And not only today, but it will be becoming worse and worse in the near future. So how are you going to deal with this? Well, beside that, we have another problem. Nobel Prize winner, professor and economist Bob Soloff. He stated something, and rest his soul, because he passed away, unfortunately. But he had a very clever investigation and research, and his conclusion was this. You can see the computer age everywhere, except in the productivity statistics. And this is so true. If we all think about our own jobs, what we do in daily life, you can see this is really touching us. Because if you consider that in the 90s, 4% increasing productivity and efficiency because of automation, and now we're only at 0.3%. This is, of course, a way down. It's going very rapidly. The only thing that helps us right now is artificial intelligence, of course. That makes us more efficient if we use it in the right way. So what can we do about it? Well, I promised you practical tools, so I will show you a practical tool. It's time to integrate smart cleaning robots with a smart and with a short return on investment, making cleaners operators. So we're not taking away jobs on the country. We're actually giving them very good tools so they can be more efficient, have less stress. So 80% more productivity and cost reduction. I'll show you in a minute. You will be surprised. Solving parts of the shortage in cleaning staff, what you just saw, is a fact. It's not something I made up. And dealing with less recruitment issues on the same side, of course, plus reducing stress, workload, and RSI-related injuries. And all of this, where I come from, we call this Robolution. Actually, we made up the word ourselves. It's a solution done by robotics, but not those that take over your brains. They're just cleaning your floor, so don't worry. By the way, they're in the hole next to you here. So, and which kind of robots, because there's so many out there, could help NHS? So I divided it in two little groups, actually. I divided it in compact class. Oh, sorry, I will go here. Like, you know, you see the robot right here that can do vacuum cleaning, and it can do wet scrubbing and drying. So it's actually a 2-in-1. So you can imagine your ROI will look very interesting. And it also has a working station that it can give the water automatically, pour out the wastewater automatically, and charge the batteries automatically, all at the same time, without any human intervention. So the robot does that by itself. By the way, it also can take the elevator by itself, going up to another level and going back to the station, and does everything without any interruption. And you have, of course, let's say the mid-class robotics, because too big is not very handy in the healthcare. That is only bigger, has more water, has more battery capacity, also have a working station, and also can sweep the floors or dry mop the floors. And to put you at ease, it can also be used manually. Because we also sometimes have some little accidents, we want to just take out old-fashioned and clean it up and put it back. We can also do this still with robotics. So it's not that you have to do everything autonomously. And how does it look like in the practice? Well, I showed you a little picture here of the little robot that can clean the floor. Here it's vacuum cleaning. And you will see later on that it can handle very well with obstacles, also in very crowded places, all the way to the plinth. It can clean really zero distance. And here it's wet cleaning actually, so scrubbing and drying. And you have this all in one device. And the other one on the right, sorry, this keeps on running. That's only the bigger one. It's going very slow here. Of course, you can manage everything yourself. How fast, how slow, how much pressure, how much water, etc., etc. Everything is digitalized, and you have a report, so you know exactly what's going on and where the robot is. So this is very easy, but you really should try it in your own building. Like successful global cases, like you see here, always starts with a proof of concept. I would really advise you to do that, because every building is different, and there will be buildings that say, oh, this is not so very good match with a robot, and other buildings will be a perfect match. But if it's not 100%, then it can be still 80%, and still be very interesting. So, for example, cleaning at daytime or at night. Because cleaning at daytime, we are such a high mature level with robotics, we can just clean at daytime in a hospital without having to fear that it's something very bad will happen. But also, full color task you can do, but you can also say, no, I only want to do artificial intelligence spot cleaning or stain cleaning. The robot will recognize this is a stain, this doesn't belong here, this is a sticker, this is an error on the floor, and it is so smart, it knows what to do. So it doesn't have to clean every floor, every day, all of it, and make it wet without any sense. And of course, we have now the click-on, click-off squeegees with 1 second, and magnetic pad holders and brushes. So it's very easy and comfortable. Like you have department A, you don't want to, of course, to drag the dirt from department A to department B, because we want to avoid, of course, cross-contamination. And we can do it like this to avoid that. So you only need one robot to do more than one department. And taking the elevators, already told you this, and automated doors by itself, and optionally, to have it even more strict, avoiding cross-contamination, is the disinfection mats you can drive over with the robot. So the wheels are also disinfected. So you have actually zero opportunity to take some germs from department A to department B. And finally, if you don't like to have a biofilm inside the robot, you can also use optional UVC light. That is not taking away, of course, the biofilm. No, it's preventing there from growing anyway, because it's very hard to get it away afterwards. So those are some samples. And yes, beside the human strategy is, of course, not so very nice. But what are the extra costs of cross-contamination? Well, I'm sure that people in this room know much better than I do. But to refresh our minds, to remember us, infected patients stay about 8.3 days longer. So we can calculate the cost of that. And I saw that it was estimated in 3,033 pounds a patient, which I think is still very low estimated. I think it's higher, to be realistic. But I'm not the expert in that. So healthcare workers and others can get exposed as well. You can, I can. We travel, we go to other hospitals, we go here, we go there. So this is not a good thing. So consistent autonomous cleaning, what we can do with robotics, are helping to reduce. We cannot avoid it, of course, for 100%. That's impossible. But we can help reduce the risk, keeping patients, workers, and the budget healthy. And how can we keep this budget healthy? Well, this is very interesting. But before this, I have to give you a warning, like they do at the stock exchange. They gave a profit warning. You know this? Well, I give you a profit warning. So I showed here. A profit warning of £90,000. Is this interesting, do you think? Okay, let's talk about it then. So I just took an example from the real life nursing home. I have to vacuum, I have to scrub and dry. I have 2 tasks, and in total the task is 16,164 square feet daily. And now I will show you what the costs are for this. I go for 20 pounds labor cost an hour. Of course, this is all in. This is including overhead, HR, social security, taxes, everything. You can debate about that if it's 18 or 22. 20 is the average. And I say, let's clean 260 days a year. And of course, there are people that say, no, our hospital has to be cleaned 365 days a year. I know, but I wanted to keep it a little bit realistic because we also have nursing homes where they don't clean every day, a few times a week. And then the cost, of course, what will the cost be of a robot? Well, of course, I break it down to 5 years depreciation. So I take from the 11,000, I take 2,263 pounds a year for the cost of the robot. If I add everything up, including 1,118 pounds for the maintenance, I just take a simple 10%, so also to be on the safe side. Add everything up, is 4,654 pounds. Then I have a question to you. If I would ask in this room, do you think if we would clean traditionally, will it be double or triple or more than triple the cost of this? So I will ask you politely to put up your hand if you think it's only double the price. Nobody? Okay. Triple the price? Yes? Okay. Two hands? 2 careful hands? Okay. More than triple the price? I see most hands, more than triple the price. I have a very smart audience, I see. Because, in fact, you are totally right. Because it will cost you about 22,694 pounds to do exactly the same task, exactly the same day, same square meters every day. So this is, this is bringing us to a next point, that it is about 18,000 pounds less cost than traditionally cleaning, almost 80%, an ROI between 5 to 6 months, not years. So yeah, there's coming the 90,000 from. So in 5 years' time, you will save 90,000 pounds. Of course, this is just an example. And of course, there's a deeper calculation behind it. I will not go into detail because then you all fall asleep. But of course, I can send it over to you if you want to do a calculation yourself without anybody commercial beside you. You can put in your own numbers and calculate it for yourself. What can I save in cost? This is very interesting because no building is exactly the same. Every building is different. Okay. Now something totally different, because if you have a cleaning robot, you also have to put something in it. Not only water, of course, we want to have a clean floor. And we all know what this means, I guess, because you have a green Quest as well. This means, micro and nanoplastics can make people sick. You all know this. Actually, this morning on the television, they had some numbers. I cannot recall them, but it was very hard numbers on all kinds of diseases. It's growing and growing. And part of them is coming from microplastics and nanoplastics. They even found nanoplastic in the placenta. 3 weeks ago, I was in Geneva at the plastic treaty, and there was a science report that says, look, it's everywhere. It's in our blood, it's in our brains, it's everywhere. So we have to stop this. And I was going to NHS, so I changed my presentation and said, look, I have to tell you people, only 9% of the global plastics are recycled. If you didn't know it, then this is the fact. So what we do at home, I also do this. Separate my plastics, and then like this kind of bottles, it says, of course, with a big tool, yes, it can be recycled, but believe me, it's never going to be recycled. It's going to get burned. Nobody will recycle this bottle. It just goes to the plastic factory where they come and they cannot use it. You cannot separate it because the transport cost and the whole logistics is way too complicated. And then they just burn it and they say, yes, this is sustainable fuel. Of course, sorry for the language, this is bullshit, of course. Okay, let's go on. Because 25% of plastic waste comes actually from cleaning bottles. Not only from our professional cleaning bottles, but also from what you have at home, of course, like this yellow ugly bottle there. And another thing is that microplastic can enter the body, like I just told you. This is already a scientifically proven fact. It's not a guessing, it's a fact. And they can come in different shapes and forms by inhalation. And They can make you sick, chronic inflammation, lungs, intestines, cellular damage, and I can go on actually, because there's a lot of more, but I don't want to do this. I want to keep it a little bit happy. But it is not so very happy actually. So how can we change this? So when I look at NHS from the outside of NHS, because I'm not part of NHS, then I look at the circle of life, because you are giving very intensive care. When people are giving birth, then you have a lot of care. Then people are getting older, so it goes a little bit down, but then they're getting real old, and then the intensive care comes back again. So this is a circle that's keep on twisting actually. So how can we slow this down? Should not end it, of course. No, that's not what I want. Slow it down so we have a more enjoyable life and we save a lot of cost and a lot of stress for NHS. Well, I just told you, by helping prevent some diseases using less single-use plastics, because that's what we're talking about. We cannot deal without plastic at the moment, today, but we can do from today without single-use plastic when we talk about cleaning. That's why I want to show you this. So where's my colleague? Oh, there. He will show you what we invented, and I will tell you more about it. So eliminating daily single-use plastics, cleaning bottles and pouches, and PVOH. And PVOH is a short for polyphenol alcohol. Because if you look at your laundry pots at home, the things that are a little bit glimmy, with some fluid inside, you put in your laundry machine, then there is a layer of plastic over it. But people say this is not plastic, but believe me, it is plastic. It's fossil-based, it's a polymer, and it will not break down so very easily. Only under very special circumstances it will break down, biodegrade down. So you better don't use them if you don't want to use, single-use plastics. Actually, the European Union put it on the list and banned it as a single-use plastic as well. So we want a next step. Okay, how can we clean without plastic bottles and without carrying water from A to B? Because if you buy a bottle with a ready-to-use product, you're actually buying 95% water and only 5% of the real detergent. So the detergent we put in a leaf here, and please close it closely, and then it will dissolve. It will take some minutes, but it will dissolve, don't worry. So use recyclable carton packaging, of course, like he says there on the right here. So this is just recyclable carton board. You can just put it in the, this is really going to be recycled, by the way. This is organized already. And the rest will dissolve. And because, oh, sorry, I think I'm too far, yes. So how did we do this? By reinventing cleaning agents. So we're not reinventing the surfactants, we're reinventing the way it's brought to you, the way it's packed to you, the way you can use it in daily life. Because you're looking here, I hope somebody recognized this. This is the coast of Northern Ireland. And the solvent, how we solve this issue is not what you see on the surface, as many times. It's actually below the surface. But you know what's below the surface? Anybody has a clue? No? Nobody? I can tell you, it's seaweed. It's a farm of seaweed. This is in the UK. So we use seaweed cellulose to make the leaves. So the leaves you're seeing right there are not made of polyphenol alcohol. They are 100% made of renewable source, made of seaweed cellulose. And this will break down 100% biodegradable. Actually, you could call it even vegan. But I think a little bit trouble with that, because then I think about food. Okay, so eliminating all single-use plastics, 100% micro and nanoplastic free, effective on contamination, safe on all types of floor, so you don't have to worry, can I use it on this floor or not? Is it safe? It is safe. 100%, well, fossil-based polyphenol alcohol free, you can be sure of that. Unique instant water soluble seaweed bound leaves, so they are bound with leaves. So the seaweed you see now, it's dissolving. When you are watching it perhaps now and then, you see it will fall apart, and so in a few, well, one minute it will be gone totally. Of course, then you have a cleaning agent on your hands, but without the plastic. So 1 8-gram concentrated leaves, in our case for the robotics, makes 2.3 liter of concentrate. So imagine, 1 leaf of 8 grams make 2.3 liters of concentrate. Normally you buy this in a can of, let's say, 10 liters. And then there is 10 liters of concentrate, but now you only have 1 leaf. You make it on the spot. Further dilution, 1 to 2%. So I take only 1% or 2% of this concentrate. So you can imagine how much I can save with this on transport, on CO2, but also on just in cost, because you can save cost up to 80%. Exact dosing, with or without dosing equipment. You can use it and you can't use it. If you have a small, small building, why should you do it? It's easy. If you have a big hospital, yes, you could use dosing equipment also with these leaves, because you have a lot of people that want to have chemicals at the same time. So zero waste, recyclable carton packaging, I just showed you, and the safe pH 6.8, so it's safe for all floors, sealed or unsealed floors, it doesn't matter. And reducing buildup in joints as well, and odor in wastewater tanks. So it also is eliminating that all at the same time. And this picture is thanks to the Queen's University, where we have a close contact with. So who did here solutions that could reduce part of your challenges? Who did here some solutions? Did you hear some tools today? Yes, okay, I see some. Don't worry, I will not jump on you. Okay, great, because we talked about tight budget, lack of staff, we talked about preventing HAIs and MRSA, and we talked about strict zero waste targets, and we can do this in cleaning. We cannot do this everywhere yet, but it's a start. You have to be, starting somewhere. And it fits greatly with the NHS Green Quest for a healthier planet and a healthier people. And your targets, so that's actually a great fit. So where are the next green steps? Well, I think it starts with robotic floor cleaning, help prevent HIEs, and labor shortage, clean, 100% plastic free and zero waste. It's a very easy step to take. Expand plastic and zero waste cleaning to interior, like you see here, the blue bottle here, that's in the middle. And sanitary, kitchen, and personal care. There's also a shampoo based on the leaves, there's a conditioner, there's a shaving cream even. So we are going away from not only floor cleaning, but also to get reducing the transport of all kinds of plastic bottles with ready-to-use products. And let's walk this journey together, of course. Let's go on together. You tell us what you need, and we could try to fix it. Like we fixed the problem that the cellulose based on seaweed can never, of course, solve in cold water normally, because if this was true, there was no seaweed in the sea anymore. So that's So the intellectual property is in the science what we did to make it happen, to make it possible that seaweed cellulose is breaking down without any problems for the environment. So let's no longer wash our hands in innocence with plastic on our fingers. Facility management today asks for automated solutions, free from plastic waste and PVOH. I want to thank you for listening in.